Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit. It's your boy, the Sophisticated Jerk. Got Stan in the building and Wally up in here. So before we jump into these topics, man, you know, the typical fuckery, how's everybody doing?
Man, let's freeze the frame right now.
What's up?
Ladies and gentlemen, and especially the ladies, what you're looking upon right now is your dream of the Caribbean islands. We got a Puerto Rican, Dominican, a Haitian.
Black Puerto Rican.
This guy right here.
You know what I'm saying?
He always start with this Latino nonsense.
You know what I'm saying? The Afro Latinos in the house. This been your father's nightmare and your mother's dream.
Where's the Hispanic killer though? Where's Il3 be pulling up shortly?
Yes, but this right here, this is the product of the lovemaking when you make it with a black man. I don't stop.
Oh, this man's staring you out, bro.
And if you're a white woman, this is still possible for you too. Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Okay, well,
Just
here.
the impossible.
And you want an island on your own.
But all right, man, I do got a good topic for us today, man. There's so many stories coming out. I'm like, damn, what should I add in this week, man? I'm like,
man, people ain't letting this year in at all.
I know, man. I thought I was like, man, we gonna probably be struggling getting topics. I'm at the point, man. So much stuff is stacked up. I'm like, man, we might have to do some sidebar live recordings, videos, or something to get these out. Because I'm like, damn.
I might talk one later. I saw something that actually was very interesting. That one of the many things that we reacted to previously. I did not know this happened, but this was interesting. But yeah.
Let us know, man. When you gonna come out with that video?
Oh no, I'm gonna get.
There he is, the Latin killer.
Okay.
We're to keep the females in the house. M3 in the building.
Keep your Latin.
Sorry, guys. I was on mute for a minute. I didn't hear you guys.
Nah, you straight?
M3 is here. The chocolate king.
I missed the whole thing.
Nah, we just going around getting the introductions. You know, Stan was starting off with his nonsense, but I was like, man, where's the Latin guru out here?
Okay, Latin.
Mr. Still your Latin chick.
Now he's the Latin whisperer. You could put him in the middle of the whitest town in the world, and the senorita would just pop out. I'm like, you put in the middle of Africa. Where you from? I'm from Mexico. What? Take him to Japan.
He said he gonna find him, huh? He gonna find that 0.1. You know how they be having the decimal?
Yeah. Be on a plane, on Soul Plane, and here come a Puerto Rican. I'm just like, damn, dude. Only you. Take him to Africa. He be fine.
Shout out that's your like Marvel power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Said Magnegro.
I appreciate you guys for speaking on my behalf, man. You know, with very little words to say about my own self. So
okay, all right. But hey, the first topic, we'll go ahead and jump into the topic and stuff. Now we got the nonsense out the way. So the first topic today is Neo said he's done with monogamy. He's living a polygamous life. So Dr. what was her name? Cheyenne Bryant recently said Neo's a womanizer because his new stance. So we're gonna break down some videos and we'll break it down. What was that?
Gotta pull out the dictionary.
Yeah.
A womanizer?
Yeah. What was that, Stan?
And that loves the women, and he believes in sharing the love.
Oh, he's in some sharing stuff, huh? He's
sharing the love.
A high value man, like that's what high value man would do.
Yeah, especially man that's high on love.
But all right, let me go ahead and play his video. He gonna break it down.
I realized that everything is not for everybody. I know you've heard that said before.
Yes.
It is some of the truest that anyone has ever said. Everything is not for everybody. Okay. Society tells you that you're supposed to be with one person. You get married and y'all supposed to be together forever. I am not shitting on marriage. I am not shitting on anyone who has figured out how to make that thing work for them. Again, everything's not for everybody. Monogamy is for you. It's not for me. I realize this. I know this now. And it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I realized I spent so much time lying and trying to be somebody that I wasn't for the sake of somebody else. Complete and utter time wasted when I could have just been exactly who I am, said exactly what I want, exactly how I'm rocking, exactly how I'm not, and then waited for those people to gravitate to me, because that's my reality now. That's my reality now. I don't have to lie anymore, and I'd be damned if I ever go back to that person that needed to lie for the appeasement of somebody else. I'm not that. I'm not
living your truth, King. Yeah, Neo said, "Fuck that shit." Hold on, let me play. I got 2 more clips of Neo, and then we'll break it down. And before we get to Dr. Cheyenne Bryan and even Neo's ex-wife.
I know you're still doing the polyamorous relationship thing. You have 2 girlfriends right now, right? I mean, is that the cap, or would you add more to it?
No specific cap. It just depends on, who I vibe with and who vibes with me.
I know. Okay, so no cap to it. So as many, maybe you'd add. Oh, okay. We're not closing the door to that.
As many as you can afford,
I know. So Omarion right now is celebrating his 3 years of celibacy.
Wow.
Would you ever do something like that, or is that just?
I'm certain that was a spiritual decision. You know what I'm saying? So congrats.
Neo was like, "Fuck no."
I agree with him.
Yeah. He's like, "Shout out to Mario," but he's like, "I'm trying to get a roster." He doing it in the opposite direction of me.
Yeah, anytime somebody throw out that little symbol right here, that little sign, it's like, "Hey man, it couldn't be me, but congratulations."
Yeah, Neo's like, "Hell no."
Congrats to him. Don't know if I could do it, but congrats to him, indeed.
I know. So I mean, I want to know. You're going on tour right now. What can the ladies expect?
Well, we've been doing this thing 20 years, so we got classics. So when you come to a Neo show, you're gonna get a little bit of the first album, and we're gonna go all the way down the line on into the future and what's to come. It's gonna be
all right. I got one more, and this is gonna be the one where he walking around with his 2 chicks.
Legalizing polygamy.
Legalizing polygamy? I didn't know it was illegal.
It's illegal. You can't get married, but you can obviously.
They got caramel and chocolate.
I feel like in the realm of love and romance, you should let people do whatever the hell they want to do.
Yeah.
Can't see how it's hurting anybody.
Exactly. Do you think it should be legalized?
Sure, why not?
Would you fight with the in DC with the lawmakers?
Who the fuck is this interviewer? She out here struggling.
Yeah, they want to legalize it so you get the money. Nah, that's okay.
Neo like, "Nah, we good."
Yeah.
No, because to be honest, I don't need the government to tell me what it is I can and can't do.
Yeah.
It's my personal life. So,
but if you wanted to get married to more than one woman, would you consider doing that? Or would you want to even get married to multiple women?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Does it really matter?
I'm not gonna let it ruin my day.
Okay.
The people I love know I love them and they love me.
But why don't you write songs about dating multiple women? You're always just like, gassing up one lady at a time when you're writing music.
I mean, the songs come out depending on the situation and the circumstance.
Okay.
First time that I've been in.
But yeah, y'all get
the. She ain't read that. She ain't listened to that first album of his. That first whole album was about the struggle of dealing with a woman in the relationship, and your heart belongs to the one that you're not with. Go on, girl. That was for all of us. That was like, do I have to pick one? When I got Mary Sue and Ellie. This is part of the part of that I miss, of meeting another girl on the street and getting back with my old girlfriend who's married to Martin. That whole first album was about the struggle of relationships and knowing that you belong to the streets.
So based on what y'all saw, man, would you classify him, like Dr. Cheyenne said, as a womanizer, or he just living his life, man?
He's just living his life.
And the women are agreeing with it. They're going with it. It's not like he holding anybody hostage.
I mean, the woman that he's with, right? I mean, will those women say, "Oh, he's a womanizer because he's with us"? Nah.
It's only a womanizer when they can't control him and he's not belonging to them solely. And then after that, it's like, oh my God, he's a womanizer.
Yeah, it's like one of those David Cooley shame tactics, you know?
He said,
Big time.
Plus
Big
low
time.
IQ. But yeah, he fine though.
But
What say you, Wally?
As far as the definition of a womanizer, I mean, can't really say that. I can't really say if he's a womanizer or not. I mean, if you look at the plain text of womanizer, I mean, by the text, yeah, you could say Neo's a womanizer. But the thing is, here's the issue about that whole thing, right? He's saying he's in a polyamorous relationship, and then you look at womanizer. Because let's get one thing clear about the word womanizer, right? It's basically what? A man who has multiple sexual relationships with women or tries to get women to have sex with him. Now, here's the problem with that. I would say Future is a womanizer because at least you know he's having multiple sexual relationships with women, but he's not attached to them. Whereas Neo's saying, hey, I'm in a relationship with these women, but I have more than one, aka being polyamorous. So technically, by proxy, no, he ain't womanizer.
Yeah, I was looking at that definition too. It's kind of vague, honestly.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Cause like, if you're saying casual sexual affairs with women, my thing is I don't got to be with you to have casual affairs. And the fact that he's actually having those girls in hand is like, and they're around you. Okay, that tells me you have some form of connection with them. You're just having more than one. So I wouldn't call it a womanizer.
What was that saying?
And there's other women that he meets on the road.
Yeah, but
I mean, community. Ladies, he's for. I'm going to ladies. He's for the community. You know, he's for the community, and you think your coochie's going to make him stay? It's just not. If anything, his coochie's going to like. Let me find your twin sister. That's what your coochie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because this man was in a relationship with a woman, not married. And while they were like still together, he met another woman that he married. And then while he was with that woman, he cheated on her with another woman. Like, look, a lot of men are just not meant to stay with one of y'all. And when y'all, and some of y'all, when y'all get that one man, y'all know what y'all do. That's why y'all divorced and y'all left alone anyway. And we got to fix that. Like, everybody go to therapy. But him, he's doing okay, because if the shoe is on the other foot, and it has been, because on TLC we have seen it, when the woman is saying one dick is not good enough for me and she got 3 to 4 men in her household, y'all say you go on, girl. Y'all never ask her if she gonna pick one and marry. Never. Y'all cheered on. With him, wasn't polygamy gonna be legalized? What kind of question is that?
So Stan, you think the women they knew how Neo operated before they try to like get him to settle down with one chick? They knew what he was about, huh?
Yeah, because they're there. They know nobody's a victim in this whole thing, because you know what it is. It's Neo. It's like when women date Future. What did you think when you date Future? You're gonna get pregnant. That's one for sure. He's not gonna marry you. That's another one.
Yeah, so they almost so they coming for that bread, so they don't give a damn what he doing.
Or a place to stay.
All right, let me pull up the Dr. Cheyenne Bryant clip.
No.
Well, let me ask
so
you a question,
what is Neo to you, Dr. B?
He's a womanizer. He cheated on his wife, and that's why she left him. He didn't cheat once. He cheated over and over again. He's a womanizer. And now what he's doing is, as a womanizer, he's gaslighting himself and that wife to make it seem like he wants polyamorous when you never wanted polyamorous from the beginning. You wanted to be married, but didn't have the discipline to do it. And your wife left you because she didn't tolerate that shit.
Maybe.
And so she pivoted from you. And now you're going and he's making these other women pay for the heartbreak that he caused to himself by saying, I want to be polyamorous. That's BS. You want to be married. You don't have the discipline. You don't have the tools to do it. So now you want to make sure you put out into the world, look at me. I want to be polyamorous because I cheated. No, you failed in your marriage. You're effed up. And that's the problem. Now you need to heal from that and not have these self-project your pain onto these women about your messed up decision making. Period.
Okay.
No. Well, let me ask
so
you.
What?
You know what it is?
I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna need you to replay that one more time.
You know what that is that his song. This is part of the list. The girls that I missed. Album number 1, he said it. Stop it. Just stop it. He is not a womanizer. He told y'all it was a struggle. Y'all thought y'all was going to help him. But nah.
See,
Wally, you say you need to hear it one more time?
yeah, hold on. But there's a reason why I said that I needed to make sure to look up that word. Because the way how she used womanizer and then in the format of he's a womanizer amongst his ex-wife. My thing is you can't call him a womanizer at that point in time, though. Because, again, he's actually with his wife. You don't think he's cheating. I have to look at it again. But the thing is, it's like, it's so weird.
His wife, when he was with his stay-at-home girlfriend, they have 2 kids together. That wife was the side chick, and she knew about that woman who had 2 kids. So she can't call him a womanizer. She knew. She's not a victim. You're a part of it. Because you got the ring.
Okay. Actually, no. Okay. So, okay, never mind. She used that she used that word fairly. Never mind.
Oh, so you were saying the one Stan that he married, she knew that he had like a woman with kids, but that's what I was saying earlier. So she, when somebody's a celebrity, they don't care what background, what past somebody has. They only care when it happens to them. But they'll step on somebody else's shoes, like the other female, like what you saying in that case. So yeah, that's why, oh, go ahead.
No, I'm saying pretty much.
Yeah, because the way she's using it, like, I mean, it's bad to cheat on somebody, so don't get it twisted. But if you came in there in the wrong circumstances anyways, like, you could call him a womanizer, but you got to call them like gold diggers, users or something, because they knew the situation. Like, they wasn't getting with Dio, man. Y'all seen his head, him without a hat on, Yeah, so they definitely was coming for that money,
Yeah, but that's my thing too. Is like if she was so-called the side chick and she was trying to move into the main chick, and you knew this ahead of time, then yeah, I can't even call him womanizer at that point because my thing is then where's the blame on the woman for already knowing the information about who he is and how he moves already? You gotta stop this. You gotta stop this. Oh, let's just pin it on one side like if no one else didn't have the prior information. This is the reason why I use Future. A lot of the women that mess with Future have prior information about the last chick that Future did wrong to. Like, what are we talking about here?
And his 14.
I think the first number one, she gets a pass, and like dudes like Future. No, the chick that was like number one, like the first one to have the kids, but 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
First one, but after you learn from the last one, you already seen the list. If you don't know, then you just that stupid, or neither you know exactly what the frick you do. Let's stop the bullshit.
Did you want to see the clip one more time?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No.
Well, let me ask
so
you
what is Neo to you, Dr. B?
He's a womanizer. He cheated on his wife, and that's why she left him. He didn't cheat once. He cheated over and over again. He's a womanizer. And now what he's doing is, as a womanizer, he's gaslighting himself and that wife to make it seem like he wants polyamorous when you never wanted polyamorous from the beginning. You wanted to be married but didn't have the discipline to do it, and your wife left you because she didn't tolerate that shit.
Maybe.
And so she pivoted from you, and now you're going and he's making these other women pay for the heartbreak that he caused to himself by saying, I want to be polyamorous. That's BS. You want to be married. You don't have the discipline. You don't have the tools to do it. So now you want to make sure you put out into the world, look at me. I want to be polyamorous because I cheated. No, you failed in your marriage. You're effed up, and that's the problem. Now you need to heal from that and not have these self-project your pain onto these women about your messed up decision making. Period.
Okay.
She ain't married, is she?
She's not married, but it's okay. You don't need to be married to.
No, I was just asking because she always be giving a lot of people stuff. I think they were giving her some pushback, but going to.
I mean, no. Because now that I hear it again for the second time, she has a point.
There's no point.
Yeah, she does. No, Stan. No. Let's be real.
There's no point.
Stan. No.
There's no point.
Stan, again, no. If you let me use you as an example for you knowing that you did the dance. Yeah, you did the dance before. You did the devil's dance before. You danced with the devil already. You know good and well if you did not want to be married, why would you engage in being married?
Because you pressure me to get married.
What?
You pressure me to get married. You sent the
get the fuck out of here. Bitches, not tell me that shit.
But you know what? Peer pressure is a real thing, though. I'm telling you. Because here's the thing, right? If you were like meant to be as a whole, and then you just find that right particular one, but they just applying that pressure, it gets to most men sometimes.
Man,
You know?
that's
I don't
that
know
fucking
what it
part.
is,
Y'all
though,
hard.
but
Y'all hard.
I will say this though, right? At this point, right? Because I mean, since she started off as someone's like side chick, see, she probably should have stayed in her lane. So I get it. She got promoted. Good for her for that moment of time. But look where it ended up. See, the thing is, some women are meant and they're really good at being side chicks for another man's pleasure. If that man, right, is going to be unfaithful anyways towards like his main woman. But, you know, people want to get into this promotion type of role where they want to be the main chick over the first one. And, you know, in this case, like it does happen, but you can't be shocked, surprised, butthurt when he does the same to you as you was participating in what he did to the first one. So basically, she just got what was coming to her. Is Neo a womanizer? I mean,
he liked women. We all knew that. And he was always
I mean, he's a womanizer because he did cheat on his wife. So I'm with Wally on that. Like, if you cheated,
you got to stay on principle. You got to stay on principle.
Was it cheating, or did they have something called an agreement? Since he's the high value male.
Now look,
nah, he was cheating. She got up out of there as soon as it happened.
Broke.
Let me say right now, right?
And when we participate in your broke activities called monogamy,
Look,
I have options. So if I have options, I'm Neo.
The only options you have is me to stay or get out or don't do at all.
Then you should have gotten married to me, but no, you want to move in, get married.
No, I'm talking about Neo. That's his options.
You went ahead and like Cat Williams said, you're the light skinned, weird looking wife that the industry give you, and that's what you are. You don't talk, you don't say nothing. I like what the doctor said, that he lacks discipline. We talked about this last week. The code word, buzzwords now is discipline. And then you didn't have discipline to not go ahead and pursue a man that was already in a relationship with 2 kids. So that requires you accountability, but we'll leave that alone because, we don't like accountability. And then after that, you already knew that he was already doing this stuff. And then you go ahead and Dr. Brian again use another buzzword. Well, she pivoted. No, that's called divorce. It's called karma. It's called accountability. And what you pivot to? Who you going to? Because Neo's like
no, I think when she pivot, I think she really meant to say she dodged the bullet, or basically dodged. Like,
oh, she dodged a bullet.
Well, no, because think about it. When she said that she pivot, meaning she wasn't trying to deal or mix herself in his BS, aka pivot. Like, like when you see someone coming at you and you step aside, you pivot.
She was in front of it. She like, you can do anything.
Well, I know, but I'm saying
this is Neo.
Again, I'm saying what I think she's saying, not saying what.
It was Neo part of and whatnot. This is Neo ain't no saint. Why y'all acting like Neo's the saint? Neo is the light-skinned brown boy that you ever gonna meet. He is horrible. He's the Drake of R&B. He is.
I do think though, like when he was married, he should have been up front. So in that case, he was. Hold on. So in that case, he was wrong for cheating, and I think he had kids too out of that whole cheating. So he was definitely reckless. But she's wrong for definitely going in there because they all wanted a celebrity. So let's not. They ain't like victimless, but still, the way he's operating now, he's not a womanizer because he's being upfront with it. He's like, hey, I'm living my life like that. Damn that. Never going back. So that's the correct way to handle it. Be upfront with it.
I mean, I do have to agree with SJ on that point because I mean, like once you get married to someone and you make that commitment, if anything changed, you need to just be upfront with that person. And he's taking accountability. He said that look, he wasn't honest. He wasn't upfront. He was living this lie of thinking that he could handle one woman, just her alone, being fixated. But after the divorce, things just kind of came into light. And then he realized that at this point that, look, he's better off by, in this case, not marrying anyone, but utilizing his celebrity status, his free will. Because look, this polyamorous stuff like that he's going through right now, a lot of average guys are not going to really attain that. Let's just be honest.
He doing it. What you talking about? We're already doing it. Remember in California, right? We're known to have taken things seriously in a relationship, and then we go ahead and take a break, and then we go back to plan one. We see each other again. We already in the
not in the start.
Here's my thing, though, right?
He's doing the Miami version. Okay.
Well, yeah, no.
That's how. And
go ahead, Wally.
You with your 2 girls.
No, yeah.
Damn, Wally got. I mean, Neo got 7 kids.
Okay, with that said, I only got one thing to say. Look, is it fair enough for him to just come out and say, like, you know, this is just on me, however it is? Yeah, whatever. I mean, that part I'll give it to him, just for the sake of just because ain't no one innocent in this whole matter overall. Like, it is what it is. Like, if you know what you know, you knew what you knew. It's like, you don't expect, if he couldn't change for himself, then just know it was a wrap. Like, just know that. You stay there, that's just because but the one thing is, this is the one thing I'm gonna also give more flack to Neil, though. It's like, if you couldn't manage one, what makes you think you can manage 2 or 3 or 4 or 5?
Easy, you kick them out.
See, it's easy for him to say that is.
Wait. Let me give you that answer, right?
Watch this.
It's easier, right? It's a lot more easier to manage like 2 or 3 women, right? As opposed to managing one. Managing one, you have to put your holy soul focus on that one person. You gotta act like, pretend like that you're semi-gay, that you're not thinking about any other woman but that person. While you having 2 or 3, anything goes. You set the precedent. You set the
fuck out of here. You gotta spread yourself think about it. You gotta spread yourself when it comes down to your own business. Then you gotta spread yourself with other women you got in your everyday life in the same household. Get the hell out of here. No.
Wally,
no.
It's easy. You know what it is, Wally? We live in a capitalist society, right? And when you don't have monopoly, you have something called competition. The competition will handle itself. And they got to please Papa.
Now, Wally, the only reason I think it would be easier, because I do think, like, if you get multiple women in the most circumstances, they there for the bread. So in order to keep up them dudes doling out money, they really don't want to be with them dudes anyways. They really don't want to be with, in a lot of those cases, they don't want to be with them dudes anyway. So they're just like, hey, give me some money, I'll shut up and I'll stay on my side. And that's how they run.
They're sucking dick.
But they also don't want that one woman to have it all. Again, capitalism, you always win.
For yourself. I'm not having Gucci's and then throwing money at them just to say, hey, I have them.
But it's not
that's
just
it.
Hey, if you want to waste your time with that, go have fun, Sam. Not me.
Wally, more. It's so many women out there that need love, and it's only for every one guy. There's 1,000 women.
And guess what? And how much of those women are really fighting for love? Not none. Get
What's
the fuck
love?
out of here.
Like,
get out of here. I don't want to hear this no more. Run the tape.
Hey, real quick, let me play this clip. We'll come back to it.
Like perhaps he's embracing a poly lifestyle. Is
this is
accurate from your perspective?
I mean, that's what it looked like to me. I don't understand the culture, but I mean, if it makes you happy, I'm happy for you.
Okay, so that was never discussed or introduced to you formally.
Never, ever. I wouldn't have been married if that was, because that's just not my get down. And no shade, no disrespect to anybody and how they live their lifestyle. It's just something that I just don't want to be a part of.
Understood. Okay, I know you made a post about people sending you things and information maybe they thought that they had on your ex. How do you feel about that in general? Like if people are bringing you information about, say, someone that you're interested in, involved with, how do you handle those types of things?
I think that in this day and age, nobody wants to see you happy, and to see you happy is just a opening for people to just come in and try to nitpick. And if they do know something, they're going to bring it to your attention, because instead of being happy for your happy, they would rather see you hurting. So it was a lot in the moment, but I give it all to God, and I thank him for it. And I'm happy that it happened the way that it happened, because the sense of peace that I have over my life right now, you couldn't pay for it.
No.
Can buy it.
Understood. Did y'all have a prenup?
We did, but I did not enforce it.
Now it seems.
Hey, he was smart on that one. Hey, why'd you frown up when she said she gave her she left it up to God or something like that? Huh, Stan?
Just call me out, huh?
I saw that face, Stan, when she said that. You were like, "Oh, here we go with this nonsense."
It's always God, but you met him doing some sin. But okay.
Yeah, she ain't the brightest, so he definitely got with that on looks. Like, let's not get it twisted. But here, this is where she talks how she found out about the cheating. So I'm gonna play this one. This will be the last clip.
Now, in a recent article, you said you chose your self-worth, right? And walked away from your marriage, you know, and I know that had to be very, very difficult. What did you mean by choosing your self-worth when you said that?
Well, there are a lot of things, obviously, I don't have to go into detail, that were happening behind my back that I was unaware of. And a lot of times when you're in a certain lifestyle, that can be a selling point for a person to keep you. And when that was presented to me in that way, I don't have a price tag on myself, on my morals, on my self-worth. And so for me, that is never going to be a bargaining tool to keep.
Yeah, I believe she don't have a price tag.
Every woman has a price. We just don't know how much it was worth. That's all.
I'm gonna say 2 words: Cat Williams.
Keep me to stay and deal with something that I do not deserve. So that's what I meant by my self-worth. I'm worth more than sharing a man.
So you, and I say this because in some of the reports, obviously he had another child, 2 children. Yeah. And you know, what's that conversation like when that's revealed to you? Because in the midst of all that, you still renewed your.
Neo was reckless with the dick, huh?
You know what? They were married, right? And this, you know what? This is actually fair, because the other woman had 2 kids, and now you have 2 kids in the marriage, which means they're part of your family, and they could come for you for child support, lady. Man, don't you like how God make things work?
Wait, you said they could come out after her for child support?
Yeah, because it was happening during the marriage.
She ain't got no damn money. They coming straight for Neo.
Hey, what? Hey, she's an industry chick. Like Cat Williams said, you get offered the light-skinned, weird-looking face wife.
Yeah, you doing shit for that.
Vibes, correct?
No. The timeline is very incorrect. We were renewed vows and all that, and then 3 months later is when I found out about everything. That was not in a situation where I knew things were going on, and I continued to stay. No, the day that I found out was the day that I left and the day that I filed for divorce.
And how did you find out?
Through a phone and a backpack. Extra phone.
So you had to do a little.
Nobody knows that, but yeah.
Okay, you had to do a little digging.
Yeah, my spirit was speaking to me, and
Stan, was that God speaking to her? The spirit?
Oh Lord, it's always both. I'm sick and tired of y'all niggas, man. Y'all so stale.
Right, and it didn't take much.
You said the spirit of guilt
and familiarity.
So, and that's what I found, and that's why I left.
Okay, how'd you crack the code on that phone?
Child, y'all men are not that smart. Y'all are not that smart. It was the same exact code. This is what he currently has.
Okay. So let me ask you this, Chris. Are you an advocate for sometimes a woman must go?
Now, do you think after like all this stuff that Neo has done that he didn't do that on purpose?
Nah,
he's not that calculated.
Because man, well, he had the prenup, but I think he got to a point, man. He didn't care. I don't think he was trying to get caught.
But he won't.
Well, maybe subconsciously, man. Because yeah, sometimes I think maybe he was like, you know what, I don't even give a damn no more. It is what it is. She finds something, and you know what? I'm gonna get these 2 joints that he was walking down the street with. So yeah, maybe in a indirect type of way. But I just don't think nobody will get caught because you know they be trying to sue and all that. So I don't think nobody want to deal with that type of shit.
Mm.
But let me just finish this out.
Her man's things.
No, I'm not. You should never feel like you need to. Never feel like you need to. But if the spirit moves you, because sometimes we gotta listen to that intuition because it's a real thing. I don't want to be with somebody that I have to look through your stuff. I don't want to feel like you're hiding something from me. Like, I don't want that, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all.
All right, that was the last one.
I hate when they use that word. That is the final line. See, that's some bullshit.
So do y'all think Neo's kind of smart now? Like, you know, doing the poly thing?
No, let's backtrack here. We got back. She said,
let's backtrack on that.
Intuition. That whole intuition, y'all need to get return it back to the manufacturer, because that intuition
and get it refixed. Because y'all keep talking about this intuition. Y'all intuition be fucking fried as hell. I'm gonna be real bad. I don't fucking no one said. Y'all got intuition. Well, how the fuck y'all didn't know y'all man was feeling some type of way?
If y'all got intuition,
Oh,
the man wasn't happy.
It took you that long. Okay.
Like, you know,
I think she does got intuition though, man.
Oh, sorry, SJ, say it again.
I said I think she does got intuition. She do to get with Neo's ass and get some kids and get some money out that deal. That's her intuition. Shit. Other than that, yeah, nah, they like you said, they knew how he was, man. Like, he already had the kids, so man, that's why I always tell guys, like, man, women sometimes play the long game, like, especially them with dudes with money. I think that's the issue with a lot of guys that have money and they want to just throw it out. It's like, man, they already got you pegged. They're like, man, I'm about to get with this sucker. It's gonna run his course. Luckily, he had a prenup, but typically, man, they're gonna get a payout, you know, out that deal. Because, like I said, you know what they there for, man. They saw a celebrity and they're like, I'm pouncing on it.
But here's another thing that just fried me off, like what she was saying in the first video. She was saying, like, oh, she's at peace and everything else about the whole thing. If you was really at peace, why get on an interview? I'm gonna just be honest about that, because even I sit here and say, "What happened?"
For future book sales, you know, every woman will have.
No, but here's my thing. But M3, here's my thing, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Notice this is why I'm about to tell you how this all plays out. One, you had to get, if you're at peace, but then you had to get on an interview. Even if you were gonna tell your story, which I have no problem with you telling your story.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't she say she was a believer of God? Why didn't God promote her book? Get the freak out of here.
Well, she got a book already?
No, I'm saying no, because M3 brought
She
up.
probably does, man. She probably got like a TV show or something.
Like, I would believe, like, I have no problem, right? You made your own book, you tell your side of the story, all that, and you sell it out, and you make a very distinctable like example for other women. Like, if you see these signs, you know, make sure you resolve it ASAP. Cool, fine, do it on your own pleasures. I don't care. But the fact that if you were there like, at peace with it and you had to go on an interview, like, I wouldn't even give no one no time of day for an interview. Like, nah, I don't really need this, because guess what? All this is going to be people going to say, oh, well, because I was his ex or whatever, I'm just trying to get a bag off. I'm cool. I'm going to just do me.
But why would you put it back, though? I think that's the whole thing of, like, you do this so you can be interesting to somebody's producers, so you can be in the real, what do you call that?
Housewives of some city.
Yeah. Housewives of some city.
Love and hip hop.
But like that's what I'm saying. There's
Soul Thoughts.
But that's what I'm saying. But there's certain things that people do. Like, that's why I'm like, if she did the book, I would have no beef. She doing the book. Like, I don't care. Like, hey, speak your piece. But if you're doing, because everyone else is talking about it and everything else, speak your piece, speak your side of the story, call it a day. Do the book, cool. But if you over here doing an interview and stuff like that, it's like they just always some add to the fire of things. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you want to always be making sure, because interviewers, some interview people are always messy too. So you gotta always think about that shit yourself. That's why I'm like, you was better off doing your own thing and then airing out on your own time frame. Fuck what everyone else saying. You know what's real.
But you know how superhero movies are like for us? I think divorced wives or heartbroken girlfriends are for the women in themselves. It's just like nobody really learning anything. Men are just evil. And then after that, what's the thing called, pair bonding or
Trauma bonding. Yeah.
trauma bonding?
Pair bonding.
Yeah, on stream, and then. But then the ladies are going off to Neil's concert wearing skimpy outfits and trying to like dance with them and put cherries in
Yeah,
their
but see, that's the thing though. But like, we also got to remember, like, anybody in these high-end positions, either you're a musician, movie star, whatever, when you always got this big tag on your back, on your shoulders, in your front of your chest, you always a target for something. Like, think about it. You rose to a whole nother level. And as we all know, once you reach another level, you reach another depth. And these motherfuckers are dealing with a whole bunch of shit that they can't beat. So the fact that they're there and they can't beat it, what makes you think they were good enough to date?
Oh, you preaching now.
Yeah.
Like, be on up.
And I don't understand why these dudes always want to drop babies on everybody, man. Like, that's the craziest shit.
That's part of the issue. That's what
they've been dropping babies. They want the babies, sir.
They at first, I think they want the theory of the kids, but like once the kids are there and the situations broke up, they like, fuck. Now I gotta deal with this mug for 18 years. I wanted to move on. So it's like,
now if they were smart, right? You would go ahead and you flip that child to a Disney kid. See, but that requires wisdom.
I mean,
You flip
that might be
that
wisdom, but you also got to understand, it also calls protection and a whole lot of other stuff. Because you heard them stories about the Disney kids, you heard them stories about them Nickelodeon kids getting touched. No, we ain't selling kids.
But this is different. This is like Little Mario. They have their own show because their father is such and such. They're the lead, and it's like, yo, you make your money in so many different ways.
they're gonna end up like, what's his name, Jaden Smith and all that. Oh no, you sometimes you gotta let them be kids, man.
But then
but that's what I'm saying. That goes on now with the parents. They got to be able to be fighting and making sure that is very secure, because you leave them kids with the mother.
Look, it's all about her and her happiness. So she get her red table talk. Everybody needs to fend for themselves because it's all about her. What's that quote they used to say all the time? I only got a couple more years. I need to live for me.
And look, Stan, she can have her own red tabletop. I don't care. Just do it at your own leisure. That's all I'm saying.
But all right, man, we'll go ahead. Let's jump into the next topic.
Wait, before we go, SJ, what's your thoughts? Is she a victim or not?
No. Because I mean, if you initially target somebody for the wrong reasons, and that's why I always give pushback, and I always tell dudes, stop messing with these broke chicks. It's because, like, man, they're coming there for the wrong reasons. Don't get me wrong, like, man, once you take that oath with somebody, man, you should honor it, or you should go up to them like, hey, man, I don't want to, do whatever, and then jump out. So it's just like, man, you can handle it the right way once you're in the union. It's just like, man, just man up and be like, you know what, I have these urges. I'm gonna get out of here because I don't want to cheat. So I think that's how you should handle it. But I think people just do got to be honest with themselves. So that's what it sounds like he's doing now. But yeah, I mean, you just don't drag people through the mud. I think have kids, and embarrass your family, because it's not just even the female. Like, if people are like, oh, forget her because she targeted for the wrong reason. It's like the kids got to deal with all this shit. The dad having all these different kids out of different women and shit like that. They got to deal with embarrassment. So it trickles down so many times where I think people don't think that shit out. So yeah, just handle it the right way.
Yeah,
you ain't got to stay there and shit, but just man up, have that conversation, be like, look, I need multiple chicks. Like,
right.
Yeah, but let me say it before I go though. But
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you remember what N3 said earlier about the putting on the pressure? This was the perfect time for pressure to motherfucking make sure, was he serious about this marriage or not? Because that's when she really should have been asking. I stand on no one is guilty in this whole matter. Everyone's at fault. That's my final statement.
Shout out to Wally.
Peace.
All right, Wally.
All right, salute, Wally.
Any parting takes on this before we jump to the next topic, M3?
No, I'm good. You guys said a lot.
You think any victims in this?
Nah, man. Like, ain't nobody no victim in this one, man.
Everybody got a bunch of fuckery, huh? Just all right. But all right, man, we're gonna jump into the next topic. So the next topic is that kind of ties into it when Stan was like cringing his face when she says, it's the spirit reaching out to her, talking to her. So the next segment is the church full of fake reformed 304s? Because you know how they always be like, hey, I'm reformed now. You know, I done gave myself to God. I'm doing this. Are they real with it? Are they faking? You know, so we that's gonna be our next conversation. So before we jump into these clips, which I'll take on that.
Can we have a disclaimer?
Yep.
It's not only the men, it's not only the women, but it's also men too.
Oh, so the men be faking?
Yes.
Okay. What's your take, M3?
Damn, I guess I'm guilty, man. You know, church 304, I guess. But
no, that's not who we talking about. Those types. There's certain types of men that come to church that they sleeping with everybody underneath the sun. And
you said they was in there hunting, huh?
Oh yeah, and there's no discipleship. There's no talking. There's no like you need to stop it. Talk. It's because this person is so dynamic, and we'll be lost without them. They going out here and they sinning and being a little mini Jamal Bryant up in these streets.
So they find a perfect unaccountability church then. Okay.
That's the majority. Some churches are like this. It's not just the women. The women are more selfie with it. But there's some men, they just blatant and they worshipped. And like people don't want to lose them because they want to lose their members. And it's not just women. I just want to put out that it's not just women. So any women thinking that we're talking about them, there's some male 304s in the church.
Yeah, we're gonna do 3 parts because we're gonna focus on the females on this one, but then we're gonna do the second part with the guys on that. Because you're right, typically, man, it'd be like when you see the scandals, it'd be like the head guy, but he'd be sleeping with all the chicks. So it'd be like one or two dudes, it'd be like 17 chicks in the church.
Yeah.
Like Derek Jackson up here praising God, I'm being rebaptized. That man up here going Jamaica with other women. I'm just like, y'all still having this man giving testimonies? Are we?
But so when y'all was in the church though, was a lot of females you know, faking being reformed, and
there was a couple. No disclaimer, right? The majority of them were ugly. So it's hard to really, like put a lot of focus on them. But I will definitely say that yes, they definitely had a lot of like hidden hoish capabilities about them. So at first, where the majority of the people around us were classified as beta, I mean, we was beta at one point too because of what we was taught to do and what we thought this is how you're supposed to talk to women of God, right? But these women had worldly relationships with men outside the church, but they were smart enough not to have the people. They were smart enough not to date like within the city, you know, or within California. A lot of them had outside relationships from different states, where different states had different rules. You know what I mean? It just unfortunately here in, you know, well, whatever. I'm not even gonna go there, right? I'm not even gonna use my curse words because I've already been in fire already, right? But anyways, that's where I kind of learned that it's like, wow, dang, like, you know, these, you know, so-called good, clean, holy type of women, right? You know, they had their own, like, you know, side dudes and all that. It's just that I believe that once you get kind of programmed within a church and you start kind of operate what you was taught, then they kind of look at you like a lame in some cases. Unless if you was white or you was just really attractive dude or you just have money. You got to have those 3 factors of it. Oh, and of course, you know, be spiritual. But that's about it.
So was there like a lot of people dating within the church?
Yes, you have to date. Well, so the rule is like you're supposed to date within a church. You can't.
But the women could leave. That was the messed up part. We had to stay local in California, but the women could go out for conferences. And I'm just like, how is it that men are supposed to lead? But
you said conferences.
Yeah, they were Christian conferences that they were flying out to.
So was shit going down at them conferences?
That I don't know, but I can find out.
Well, that's how most of them. Well, Stan, that's how most of them got married. Anyways, I could probably remember 3 women, right, that went to those conferences, went to LA and all these other places, right, and that's how they met their husbands.
Mm.
And their
But
husband was
right. But if I did it, if I talk about I want to go to a conference, it's like, but we have women here, and my response is just because you have a rock in the garage doesn't mean that you have a car. That was my
so Stan, you was trying to go to the conference. They were like, hey, we got Bertha over there. You can stop playing. They was like, sit your ass down.
Like, yeah, and it's like, no. But one time we did have San Diego and LA come up. And I guess they didn't like that at all because that was a different, you couldn't control them because they were a pretty dynamic group. And it was great because it was like, it was a whole different light, right? And so I don't know what you call him, it was like the minister of our whatever. He couldn't control it because we had so many different events that was spread out. And then we went to their little event, but we had like major dinners and meetups and hikes.
So was people like getting together? Like,
yeah, we were getting together and getting to know each other. It wasn't anything foul.
This just sound like a club. Where's y'all out there drinking out them red cups and shit?
Let me tell you something. It was like Club and Adventures, the franchise. It was like that because the people from down south when they came up here, I liked it. I had a time of my life when them folks came up here.
So y'all was at that. This sound like a damn. With some dating firms and shit.
Yeah.
Y'all was definitely lying in there. Y'all ain't reformed, god damn it.
No, but it was fun, right? Because that's how like I met this woman. She was cool. I thought she was black. Then it come out as a white woman. I was like, oh, I thought because she had a black name and we talking about black politics. So I go to this restaurant looking for my date. White woman come up to me, say, "Are you Stanley Joseph?" I'm like, "Yes." Is my date running late? And she's like, "I am your date." I'm like,
she was like Rachel Dolezal. You remember her?
Yes, she was blonde. I was like, I'm paying for a white woman. That's what...
I don't know. Maybe your destination was supposed to be with white women.
No, this is worse. Here's the part about it. I had a good time with her and everything, right? Mm-hmm. The next day, I get a phone call from my sister, right? So one of her little friends saw me on the date with this white woman. And my sister read me the right. How you gonna sit down and pay $150 for that restaurant? You know how much that restaurant costs? And you took a white woman? You think I wouldn't find out about it? All my friends, I'm like, oh, how y'all find me? What? I ain't seen no black people in this neighborhood. How y'all?
You was out there hiding, huh?
I was like, what? I'm like, your friends all be finding me doing stuff. Like, what's wrong with y'all? But look, it wasn't. It was like they had like a different light about themselves and they were like a lot freer. And I want to say real because real is something that we all like throw around so loosely, but it was they were so genuine. And you can tell that they have a very, they weren't caged. Like our ministry was very caged. Like it was very guarded. Like you just needed permission. But you can tell with those people from LA and San Diego, there was a level of grownness and trust and actually like what you need to do as a young adult with your life that was there, that was so refreshing because very different.
When you talk about free, you mean like free, like kind of rebellious free, or because you last week you was telling me about LA, the culture. So
like by free they weren't legalistic. In our environment, like you always gotta seek advice, you gotta ask for permission. I mean, you were left to your own judgment.
Oh, okay. So it was like controlling type, like.
Yes, the Bay Area churches are very controlling. Like you need permission, and I'm like, that's
so
why
you think
saying things like I don't give you my reproduction rights. They don't like when I said I'm like I don't give my reproduction rights. Don't tell me who to date. Don't you ever tell me who to date. Don't tell me who the fuck who to get pregnant. I don't give my reproduction. So you no deities like don't do it no more.
Do you think they wanted y'all like a dependent on them or something?
Very much because they used to read us slave scriptures a lot.
Damn. Okay.
I almost got in a fight with the minister. He read me one more slave scripture. I almost like, yo, you read me a slave scripture, I'm about to go ahead and slave these hands on you.
So they was trying to like Willie Lynch y'all, trying to get you.
Yeah, other brothers had to come in and try to pull me away because I'm like, don't you read me a slave scripture ever again in your life. Don't read me anything.
But all right, let me play this first video because this kind of goes along with what we talking about. Shit, homegirl, break it down. I think you sent this to me, Stan. This was crazy when I seen it.
You didn't know a whose final form is a religious woman.
Yeah.
It's called my grandma.
You know what?
So is that true? Is that any validity to that?
In all fairness, right? In order for you to become a Christian, you have to be a sinner. I'm gonna say that.
Oh, okay.
In order for you to become a Christian, you have to be a sinner. So you already know what's out there in this world. The sad part about it is you become super religious and not relatable, and you have no compassion, and that's the messed up part about it.
Okay, that's fair. So everybody got a degree of some baggage when they come to there.
Yeah, but no.
Some got some other, but it's. I guess the whole point is like because I get what you're saying, definitely. But I do you think like some people are just kind of faking it?
Yes.
I guess okay.
Yes, because you know why? Here's where the level of fakeness will come in. The level of fakeness will come in is when they use it like a Pokemon card. It's like you're coming in and you give me the rules of how things needs to be, how things are, but you don't apply it yourself.
Okay.
But it's to your benefit that I follow these rules the way it is. You're benefiting from these rules. You're benefiting from like using the scriptures on me. You're benefiting from it, but then when the scriptures are used on you, again, no accountability. Again, you're not going to change. Again, now you're upset and you're taking it personal.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I guess like we could say fakeness, but to a certain degree. But I want to say wholeheartedly, I think the issue is when it comes to Christian women, or just I'll just say religious women, right? I think most of them are really super devoted, but it's a trade-off of their sanity because they've been through so much like turmoil already, like from their past that they've been trying to get away from. And some of them like came to the church, under like distress and depression. So now it's like if anything, the person who's lying is pretty much your pastor. So when the person who's like your minister is giving you all these fallacies and you're soaking it all in and you're taking it as faith, right? A lot of times women would be so heavily devoted, they feel like they're doing the right things to try to help. But what they don't realize or understand is that sometimes they could be stubborn in their ways, and people will be subtle or try to tell them like, hey, like, you're kind of being a little overbearing, but they're not going to listen to you. If they don't listen to their own boss or their husbands, they're definitely not going to listen to like a couple of people that's trying to tell them that, well, I respect your religion, but I need you to tone it down a little notch, because you're going overboard with it. But their way of their understanding and their teaching, they feel like it's always right. And you do have some of the ones that, that although they do get caught up heavy into their religion, but for their own personal convenience, they will try to bend the rules.
Okay.
Oh, and okay, one more thing, and this is how it looks like how they bend the rules. We start forming cliques, and you make it look like high school again, in the hopes of making it look like it's holy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember y'all was mentioning that before. Like there was like groups within groups and stuff like that. So yeah, that's. But all right, let me play some of these clips because I got a few of them. They're not too long, but we get back to it after we get through some of these. I thought this one was funny, man. I saw this.
These shelters for 304s. Okay, cool. But the delusion is thinking that a man will find something different in church than he does outside the church. Town bicycles usually end up hiding behind the true human shields, the true good people, the few virtuous ones, few virtuous women or widows. They hide behind them, but with full backing and immunity from the pastor.
Okay. I'm
Hold
going
on.
to say it's true. And here's the reason it's true. You can see, like, we have something called, what do you call them, kingdom kids? They grew up in a religious household. Both their parents got baptized, whatever. But here's somebody that comes in who newly baptized and they get married right away. And there'll be a frustration that's there where, like, I've been here all my life. And this person just got baptized yesterday and they got a boyfriend next week and they're getting engaged by the spring. And now I'm like a bridesmaid and their wedding in the summer. And I seen it and I was like, I didn't get it until I went to therapy. My therapist had to like drill it in me that I was actually engaged. And I thought that stuff was like, I was just asking to go on a courtship. And she's like, Stanley, nobody put this much energy into this unless it led to an engagement. And that was the part where I had to like be accountable because I was like, oh my God, I've been engaged and I had to throw up. And that's why I'm extra angry with church. Y'all lied to me. So
you was pissed off, huh?
Big time.
But all right, let me play this clip. So this is the one where the lady says she pretended to be a Christian for some dick.
To a Christian and all that. So it was this male friend. So we was cool when we was teenagers or whatever, right? So boom, fast forward, we link up again when we adults. Now he's a 7-day Adventist. That's like a super Christian, right? Now he's all into God and this, and that. Now in my head, it's like, come on, I used to know you. Like, I'm thinking it's like a little facade. All right, he want me to work a little bit. Cool. So I start doing the little Bible studies or whatever. This is when I know I got in too deep. He got me a engraved Bible with my name on it.
That's OG, son.
He bought me and I looked it up. This Bible was like over $100. Like it was a purchase. But that's when I knew I was into.
Let me play a couple more real quick.
So you should never play with God, but hey,
she's telling the truth.
Shout out to what's the name of this podcast? The Whatever Podcast. Yeah, they be having some OnlyFans girls. I always be claiming like religion and stuff. my man be like having headaches in there.
Oh, let me put that out there too. Both of my original parents are pastors.
Wait, so you're religious?
Yes.
You're a Christian?
Yes.
What denomination?
Baptist.
You're Baptist?
Yes.
So how do you reconcile doing work and being a Christian?
Jesus hanged around people like me, not like you. He hanged around thieves. No, he didn't. His disciples were thieves. Lies.
So wait, just to be clear, okay, Jesus hung out around thieves. Yeah, so does that mean Jesus or God wants people to be thieves?
What God has for you is for you, and nobody can take that away. I pray to God every single day. I believe that my answers will be in prayer.
Jesus also said, "Go and sin no more."
When God
go and sin no more?
So God is for me. Like so, go and sin no more.
Shit,
so when He tells me that personally, that I would do that. Oh.
Hey, she was believing that. That's what I'm saying. That was the craziest part. She was looking at it like, hey, he hung around people like me, and she was serious.
She's a kingdom kid.
You said a kingdom kid?
She's a kingdom kid. And I remember a kingdom kid is, she said both her parents are ministers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my parents, I grew up in a Christian household, but kingdom kids had it worse because when both your parents are ministers, like a first lady and a pastor, you have no leeway to make a mistake as a kid. Like everybody's looking at you as though you're the Messiah. Doesn't matter how many of it are you guys. Could be 5 siblings or just one child. There's pressure on you because it reflects back on the church and the leadership of the father, the pastor, and the pastor's wife. Because if you can't handle home, then you can't handle the church. But it's not being realistic. Like, kids need to make mistakes. All children have their own different personalities. These are children. You're adults, and it's kind of like, yo, you just can't sit down and pressure a child when you're a full-on adult. They got their own sins, and you're not handling that part. But you want this child to take on this whole sins of the church. They get a lot of pressure, and there's no one they could talk to. They're not
Nah,
friends
that
with
makes
anybody.
sense. Yeah, it's almost like you got to be perfect, huh? Like, so yeah, it makes sense because yeah,
And then
that,
they
that would.
hide and they crash out. It's a lot of pressure for kingdom kids because it's like they can't do anything, they can't express themselves, and then when you leave the church and you turn 18, you're not looking back. You leave the pulpit for the pole. I know I did. I was
And then I got 2 more clips, but we'll get back to the cover. I just want to knock these 2 out.
I noticed you're wearing a cross. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yo, I'm very Christian. I love God. No, I'm serious. I'm not being sarcastic. What?
It's about Christian?
I mean, I consider myself Christian, and I love God. I love Jesus Christ, and I believe that He died for our sins.
But OnlyFans?
I don't do porn.
You got Christian OnlyFans.
That's okay. You can have your opinion.
Christian
Everyone sins, Brian.
OnlyFans.
Listen, Brian.
Christian.
Everyone sins. I have 2
OnlyFans.
things to say. One, everyone can have their opinion, but I know my relationship with God. He loves me just like He loves all you guys out there.
Amen,
Jesus loves
sister.
you.
Where's the hurrah
And
button?
also, no, don't hurrah me. We're talking about serious stuff. Like Jesus. And oh no, watch out. That's rude.
One more. Yeah, this is. I was like, man, there were so many of them too, man. That was the sad thing because I was like, man, I only want like a few clips, but it was like just stacks of them, and I'm like, God damn, and they was all like, you know, typically somebody would be like capping or something or just trying to sound like crazy for like a clip. They were like dead on, like serious with this. That's why I was like,
before you
man, this.
start the next one, can I say something on the previous one that we just watched?
Uh-huh.
That one is shows like Christianity is not a faith anymore. It's beginning to be a group of people. So it's not about you living out your faith as a Christian. It's like we're part of a group of Christians. We're just Christians, not living it fully, but we're Christians because I grew up in a Christian household. My parents are Christians. My grandparents are Christians. It's like Catholics. Like we're Catholics. You know, it's just a tradition. We're just Christians, and that's it.
Yeah, I like what you said because, man, you know, you're supposed to put things into action. I think that's the piece that's missing, like you're saying. So it's like, man, nobody's gonna be perfect. You're supposed to focus on like improving yourself, but yeah, it's almost like I think people have that, like you said, they might have grew up in the church, so that the comfortable thing is to be like, hey, I'm a Christian, but it's like I'm not gonna, you know, read to understand or actually, you know, be in line with it. So I mean, they sound like idiots because to me, it's almost be like, hey, man, I do believe in. If I was them, I wouldn't, you know, play with the word like that. I'll be like, you know what, I believe in God and stuff, but I know what I'm doing is wrong. And, you know, it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I think that's what a lot of people do. They'll try to justify their nonsense. Be like, well, you know, it forgives all sins. It's like you're supposed to recognize, if you recognize it's a sin, you ain't supposed to keep on doing it and stuff. But in their mind, they're like, nah, I could keep on doing it, but eventually, you know, I'll quit and everything would, you know, be all right, and I'll go to church and stuff. But this is like, they don't understand. Like,
parts to it. There's 2 parts to it. There's 2 parts. Like one, no one explains to you when you're growing up in church to a place where you can understand it, right? 2, they don't normalize everyday life, like life choices. If you're in your 20s going to college and everybody's having sex, you want to have sex. Don't come at me and tell me it's a sin when actually I did it and it felt good. So like
I mean, but it still is. I mean, you got to educate yourself to a certain degree because these are grown ass adults, and you talk about doing OnlyFans, and come on, man, they know what's going
No,
on.
but that's the thing, right? They're educating themselves, right? And that's what they came up with. And that's the thing. If you grow up in church, people are giving you rules, but nobody's actually explaining to you why things are the way they are and how.
Yeah, we don't need that much.
Yeah,
Because it's all right to be like, hey, man, I just want to do what I want to do. That's what I think people are bad at. It's just like, I still want the coverage to make myself feel better, but it's just like, I do want to do bullshit. And it's like, that's fine, man. Like, because, man, when I was like younger, I knew what the hell I was doing was wrong when I was doing stuff, but, I just didn't make excuses for my bullshit.
I don't know, because I'll say this. I'll give the credit to the church. I'm going to give them this one credit. They did great Bible studies. They got me in, and they got interested in reading the Bibles. That's one. I'll give them credit for that. But also, I will say this: as a kid that grew up in a very strict Christian household, it was like I was like Little Mermaid. I want to be where the sinners are. I want to know what they left. I want. You know what I'm saying? Because the sinners look like they had so much fun, and I always say this: the pagans know how to party. They don't know how to stop. But the pagans know how to party.
Right. That's
Christianity was so boring and draining, and I'm like, this? And they're like, well, in heaven we could do this all the time. I'm like,
Go ahead, M3.
I guess. Damn. So now I guess I gotta tell like a Latina Christian story, right? I put it out there. So before I get to that, right? Just a little snippet, just kind of piggyback what Stan was saying. Yeah, the only good thing about the church that me and Stan had went to, right? I think it kind of prepped us to get an understanding of what to do and what not to do, who to trust, who not to trust, and going forward to like other churches or meeting other people that has these similarities, know not to really trust their word, but really follow your own understanding and actually dig into the scriptures if you're devoted. Now, here's the thing, right? I'm a person, right, that, okay, if I know I'm doing something wrong or whatever, right, that is going against like, the holy faith or whatever, right, or going against the religion, and someone like calls me out on it, I'm going to just own up to it. I can't argue or be like, or try to justify making excuses. Although I'll keep it real with you and be like, hey, look, man, like I'm just trying to live a little bit. You know what I mean? But I know that I'm not living the Christian life, or my foundation is not the strongest or whatever. I've been through a lot. But of course, I understand Christian women or whatever, right? They're going to always say, wherever we be Latino, whether it be black or whatever, everyone's going to say, well, you know what? You can't use that as an excuse. Okay, fair enough. But for me right now, at this particular point, right, you could consider me to be lukewarm. That's just where I'm at. So, all right. So this is where the story lies.
I consider you the Uncle Luke. Big booty girls, get with it.
Because it is a thing, right? The problem is that what I'm going through right now is that, yes, I'm going to church. Yes, I'm trying to get my salvation right. But it's like, on the flip side, it's like, okay, you have the worldly girls or whatever. Those are the aggressors. Those are the ones that are going to show out the most attention or whatever. Those are going to be the ones that's going to be down and with it. And then, of course, for me, having a background where I ain't going to say marriage was perfect, but me being used to being married and trying to do all the right things and still being told that you're wrong because, like, you're considered as disrespectful or you didn't love your woman enough or whatever to stay away from all girls and talk whatever.
That's not realistic, and that's not realistic.
But the thing is, like, we that's why I hate talking to like Christian women, right? Because everything is always, this is where they go overboard. Everything is always about, either you're hot or you're cold, but your ass cannot be lukewarm. You can't be cursed. You can't be doing this. You can't be going out to these parties or whatever. And it was a situation where I was like, all right, I just want to just kind of enjoy myself or whatever. Even though those people that I went to enjoy myself wasn't really my cup of tea, which I learned out on my own anyway. So I'm like, all right, I ain't got to go to that whack ass party again. But I was invited to it. And I only went there because one, I didn't want to leave another brother hanging by himself.
Yeah.
It was a Latino party. And then two, the host who invited me, right, really wanted me to come. The other rest, whatever, right? Well, it's only 3 people that didn't want me to come. But anyways, I went there. And the problem is, right, the party was good, of course. They knew how to party. The food was great or whatever, right? But when they party hard and they don't have a limit. You know what I mean? So, of course, you're going to have a little bit of paganism or a lot of them or whatever, depending on the amount of alcohol they drink. So, me, like, I don't overdo it. I don't get drunk, and I'm alcohol tolerant anyways. So, it doesn't really affect me if I drink something anyway. But, oh, boy, these Latin women cannot keep their mouth shut. It's like everything I do, whoop, whoop, you got to report it to someone else. And so I don't want to go there, but let's just say, like, I just had a nice, healthy rebuking or whatever, right? By one of my Latin friends. And, yeah, she was like, hey, you don't belong in there and blah, blah, blah. And
But understand this, right? But that's the fact, right? When they talk about Jesus, and she said Jesus hung around thieves. Okay, yeah, he hung around people that affected by sin and were doing sin, right? But there's a part about him where he knew when to leave. And that's the part where I'm be honest, like when Christianity, you're not being honest about like when it's time to leave. When it's like it's people do you as a Christian, you go anywhere you want to. Some people, their energy level is going to a nightclub. It is going to a concert. It is going to baseball games or basketball games. The religion itself becomes so strict and unrealistic to where it's so extreme that you jump on the other extreme. And with life, right? Living your life, you'll find a happy medium. Um, and that's where I just want to encourage you. I don't hate using that word encouragement. Ugh. I just want to let you know you're not the only one that's going through it. Because SJ, that was one of the key words, encouragement. That was like over you and inspired. Oh God, those are 2 words I can never use again in my life. But it's just a reality of life. Like you just have to go through things and you got to figure things out. And you're a man. And because here's something. A lot of times, I'm going to say this, in the church that we were in, and a lot of these churches, it's kind of weird to hear somebody tell you that you need to be held on accountable and everything else, but then they live in a life that's not even duplicitous, that's like 4 different lifestyles at once, and they go and sit down and tell you they have a quiet time. I'm like, yo, like, I need you to sit over there and like don't even talk to me no more.
Well, here's the thing, just to even piggyback on that part, because I was going to get to that point, right? Well, here's the thing, right? Okay. Yes, and God bless her heart, right? For sharing the scriptures, for trying to remind me to stay godly focused and to never go to a worldly party again, right?
No, go to any party you want to.
I'm just putting a story out there, right? Because like that was just my day or whatever, right? Out of many other moments throughout this day. But then this is the part where I also thought about as well too. So of course you understand we had that phone conversation or whatever, right? Which I don't say nobody's names and stuff, right? But the person who hosted the party was also informing me that her and the other person don't really get along anymore. And one of the reasons why they stopped getting along was because when I started to be friendly and start having a casual conversation, that person got so-called jealous or whatever.
Okay, Wait, you gotta stop.
Mhm.
And today, and this is where the high school of church creeps in.
Yeah, no, it's funny y'all say this because I was just telling somebody while I was talking to him. I was like, man, if I go to a church, man, I'm going by my goddamn self because it's like I don't want to intermingle.
Yeah.
I just want the word, man. Don't, I'm gonna be friendly and stuff like that, but it's just like I'm there for a specific purpose. And like you said, a lot of times, man, people do try to get in people's business, and it's funny, man, because you could just see people looking around like having interest for people, so you can see they want to hook up, get to know people, and then the rumor mill. So it's just like, man, I'll just stay away from all that shit, man. Like,
I would rather they find somebody in jail before they come to somebody in church.
well, it's like, man, if you meet somebody a certain way, but it's just like, I just have no problem telling people like, man, stay out of my business. I'm not here for all that. Like, I'm not gonna be controlled like that, and I think that's the issue with it sounds like a lot of times, man, they want to, oh, this person's mine. They're territorial. They want to control. They like, because I remember one time I went to one church when I was like younger, and they were like, "Oh, I didn't see you on Sunday, last Sunday." I was like, "Yeah, because I didn't fucking go." Like, why are you in my business? Like, of course you didn't see me there. I was out drinking the night before, so yeah, I didn't show up. I was hungover. But yeah, they do be doing like slick shit like that. So yeah, I used to be like, you know what, man, I'm going to some place. Don't try to know me. I'm not gonna be there all the time. Like, y'all better have low expectations for me. But hey, let me play these last couple videos. We can get back to this. Just what?
The necklace.
Oh,
You have a tattoo.
Yeah, I have it tattooed, and I have the cross on my.
Well, I'm curious. Like, do you think God would approve of you doing OnlyFans
Yes,
and porn?
yes. God loves me. Yes,
That's not-
1000%.
Wait, God approves of you doing OnlyFans and porn.
God loves me, no matter what I do. God
She
will.
can't answer the question.
Yes,
Do you wear the cross while you're engaging in shooting your porn?
I do. Actually, I never take it off. I've actually never taken it off in like the past, I don't know, like 5 years.
Rocks. Abdul? Yeah, get the rocks. Get the rocks.
Does Jesus say, "If you love me, keep my commandments"?
So which commandment says not to act in porn?
I can address that. The purpose of pornography is to create lust. Lust is one of the 7 deadly sins. Lusting is equivalent to
All right, I got one more, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's sad that they just still trying to justify it. That's why I'm like, certain things don't need to just be like, look, this is my life. I know it ain't right, but they standing firm on it.
Quite a few people reach out to me, comment, just truly curious about what and why I changed. So listen, I was a pastor's kid for almost all my life. I grew up in church. I was always in church. I was also homeschooled. So my life truly felt like a cage. And I'm not saying Christianity is a cage. I'm saying religion was the cage. About 4 years ago, I started my OnlyFans and I showed myself all over the internet. I truly fell into darkness. I climbed to top 0.01%. Like, that is crazy. That is a crazy milestone to reach in that industry. And so I met this person who's now my partner, and he truly showed me God's love. God radically saved me from this darkness. I am now giving it all up for Christ. So
So those the type of females that be in church.
I will say this. She said partner, not husband. And I'm wondering, are they staying together and having sex, but they're monogamous? She said partner, M3, not husband.
Yeah, I caught that. She did.
And I say one thing about being like going to church, you learn to listen to words and dissect it like a freaking lawyer. And when she said partner, not husband, and she's don't give it up, but I'm like, okay, what you do with the money? I know you got a nice, nice, nest egg. And how did you meet him? And that left that out. You know what I'm saying? So like, there's a lot of stuff that's there. And I could have sent you this. I could send to you now, but like, there's a sister that some of us probably recognize from West Coast Productions, who's a minister now.
Yeah, we can check that out on another time. We'll definitely get back to that.
So it's happening, right?
Yeah.
Again, the goal of becoming a Christian, you got to be a sinner, confess your sins, sin no more. And guess what? If you still sin, there's a scripture about that. Like, I think it's like the thorn in the flesh, and I'm going to paraphrase it. Paul asked God to take away from it 3 times, and God like, no. The reason why you still got this thorn in your flesh is so you become closer to me. And the thing about it is like, there's certain sins that you constantly have to go to God for. It's not something that you can work on your own. It just brings you closer to God. And a lot of times, and that's what I'm saying, a lot of times people could be so quote unquote holy that no one is going to heaven because of them. And she said it, homeschooling, a lot of fear of people in the world. Then after that, a lot of no's. And she was a minister kid. She felt like she was in a cage. And I told you guys, like, man, once you turn 18 and it's like Little Mermaid, you like, man, I want to be where the sinners are. I want to see where they always laughing and dancing. Up where they walk, up where they run.
So there's a lot of these types up in there.
Yeah,
because
man.
I get like when people like, man, they change their past and they move forward, but it sounds like they ain't changing. Some of the ones they was justifying it, so that's a little different.
But yeah, if you have the accountability part, that's the whole thing about like, man, if you're free, like, and you're okay and you know it, but the whole thing again, I call it compassion. Like when you don't have compassion, when you could turn your nose up and like, oh, sinners, and I'm like, yo, then you really not free. You're still in it. I mean, like, and that's the whole thing. Me and 3 and a couple other people who left church. I mean, this one minister friend of mine told me, like, you didn't leave God. You just left the organization because you outgrew it.
Yeah,
And
I agree with that.
And then for the young ladies that we just saw, a lot of times they're wearing that stuff. And yes, Jesus loves you, but I think the whole thing is like you're looking at these crosses and everything is going to remind you that you need to go back. And that's what end up happening. You will go back. Now, when you go back, please also seek out some therapy, real therapy, not just the minister, and examine your life, because you can't come on and just like be the extreme. Because you jump from one extreme to another extreme. You got to find a medium in the middle. And that's my only concern when people just jump up and do the extreme and say they date Jesus. Don't do that. Jesus is not coming back for us like that. You can't date no Jesus. Don't do that. Go get your real man.
I agree with you as far as like, man, they're super judgmental people, but yeah, the way that they was talking, man, with the nonsense, it's like, man, they ain't they don't want forgiveness. They just want to justify their bullshit. So that's totally different.
Yeah, but I want to add, like, there was another clip, like the women, the one that we saw, I think it was the first 2, where she was dating him because she wanted to have access to him. And that's the truth. A lot of women will come back to the church that they lost their man, and some men, they'll go back to the church they lost their women to, so they too can get, dipped in the water, and then in hopes of reuniting with that person.
Yeah, because what y'all was talking about, it sounded like there was a lot of dating in that motherfucker, man.
But it wasn't just in this church. It was in a lot of churches. I was in
okay.
Where, yeah, you don't want to lose that person, so you do become a member of the church. You do get baptized. You do the whole thing so you can keep the person. And there's a flip side to it where people want the person they're with to be part of the organization so they can control the person.
But all right, man, we'll definitely do the part 2 coming on. So I wanted to jump into this
Stormy, I'll get some wine. I need to.
Yeah. We'll do the part 2. The other pimps in there.
And like anybody from church trying to come for me, don't you dare. Y'all had time all these years. Don't you ever come to me. Don't.
They ain't mess with y'all. They let y'all go so they could get some other people in there.
They better. They're like, don't come. But go ahead. I'm sorry, SJ.
No, you good. But yeah, I just wanted to jump into the last segment. So this last segment is gonna be, what would you do in this scenario? So I'm gonna play the clip and y'all let me know, like, would you leave this chick in this video if you heard her saying this type of thing? So this is the desirable truth, and he asked him about a guilt-free past for both of them, like if they ran into their celebrity crush, you know, what would happen, and would you be cool with it? And my man right here, he looks crushed, like his soul gets crushed in this video. So I want to, after we play it, y'all let me know if how y'all would handle this situation.
Has to sleep with anybody in the world. Would you use it?
Yeah.
On who?
Zac Efron, Josh Bowman, some celebrity, hot celebrity. You turn that down? Couldn't do it.
All right. What if it was all the way around?
I know what I'm worth. One night with one celebrity doesn't change who I am.
So you wouldn't use it?
Even
There's
if I
no
gave
point.
it to you?
No, because it sounds like a trap. If your significant other is willing to give you a one night stand with anybody in the world, it sounds like a trap for your loyalty.
You see that look of disgust? my boy was like, look, I got a slur out here. Like,
fuck that.
If he gave you a guilt.
So what would y'all do if you was out there on a street interview and your girl was like, she ran off a whole list, like, man, I'll do this and this. Would y'all be upset? Or would you just be like, they are celebrities? Or would you be like my man right there, like have that look of disgust, like, I can't believe this, boy. When we get home, I'm packing your shit. Like,
I mean, here's the thing, right? When you're saying this out in the public and you're embarrassing me like this, like, I know for a fact if I was to have a whole list of like celebrity women that I would like to smash or whatever, and I'm telling you all the nasty things that I'm going to do to them, I know she's not going to like that. So why would you even say that, like, you know, in front of me? I don't know. I would be like really uncomfortable afterwards, right? I don't know. Would I go to a stream and, you know, like pack her stuff up and kick her to her curb? Maybe I probably would. But the problem with me is that, like, I stopped taking women seriously a long time ago, and that's the problem. And when you stop taking them seriously, like, you don't even really care, like, you know, what they say, and, you know, you just only like focus on like the actions of like what they do. So that could be like a good and a bad about myself, but I don't know, man. I just don't really take them seriously.
Oh, that makes sense. But all right, Stan, let me get you in there. What would you do in that case, man? How would you handle that situation?
I'm going to say this. There is no list that ladies can't accomplish with Instagram and TikTok. So she's probably already talking to Zac Efron and the rest of them. So you got to go.
Damn, like that? Kick her to the curb, huh?
Yeah, I have to kick her to the curb. I'm like, man, you ain't supposed to be on camera saying that. She was a little too excited. She was like, Zac Efron, so-and-so.
Yeah, like
she had a list like prepared. She almost like whipped out a scroll, like, shit, who would I would have fuck with a hall pass?
And don't forget the last one, what? Any hot celebrity.
Yeah, she was like, you know what? I ain't mentioning one-offs. Like, goddamn it, I'll give it to them all. My man was like, yeah, she would have to go. As soon as we get to the house, I'd be like, hey, let's get the packing.
Right.
And hopefully, like, can they find me on this post? Here's my at, so they can find me. Like, because Instagram have made our world so much smaller, celebrities could go ahead and inbox your girl. Like,
that dude looked so crushed though, man. That was sad.
Yeah.
I seen that.
We got
look at him.
Can we replay that again?
Yeah, let me
Guilt-free pass to sleep with anybody in the world. Would you use it?
Yeah.
On who?
Zac Efron, Josh Bowman, some celebrity, hot celebrity. You turn that down?
You see him? He's like, I can't believe this shit.
That man had to cross his leg for that.
Yeah, he's like, that look says it all. He's like, hey.
Yeah.
Do it.
All right. What if it was all the way around?
I know what I'm worth. One night with one celebrity doesn't change who I am.
So you wouldn't use it?
Even
There's
if I
no
gave
point.
it to you?
No, because it sounds like a trap. If your significant other is willing to give you a one night stand with anybody in the world, it sounds like a trap for your loyalty. Fuck that.
If he gave you,
She's like, I don't give a damn what you say, motherfucker. I'm jumping out there. But all right, man, we'll go ahead and close this out. So, Stan, go ahead and give us your outro.
Neo's living his truth. Dr. Bryant, mind your business. Number 2, just like the women of the world, ladies in the church, you're being found out and being exposed. Good luck with your life. And number 3, yeah, I have to let her go because you just let me know that you'll just drop it like it's hot for anybody that's hot. And she didn't even look at him. She just like announcing it, like, yeah.
Well, she tried to pull him in at the end. She was like, you want to take the hall pass? And she's like, well, shit, I'm still taking mine, motherfucker.
Okay.
You could cry in a car because I'm still taking my hall pass.
And she's gonna be celebrated and supported, not like Neo. Neo is being blamed for everything, and he's being seen as the bully and perpetrator. She is living her truth. Nah.
But all right, M3, what's your outro?
All right, well, for Neo, Godspeed. Hey, I'm glad that he's taking that approach. He's learning from his lesson as far as trapping himself in a monogamous relationship when he was really I'll say, he is a womanizer, right? But now he's a womanizer no more. I'm proud of him that he's going with the polygamous route, and hopefully he find many more chicks. He may want to replace that second one, the one that was to the right side of him. She's average. He could do a little bit better than that. But for now, that's the starter package. So I respect that. 304, OLs or whatever, the Christian OLs. I mean, God damn it. I'm a little disappointed, right? But I was not surprised. I knew women, they know. See, one thing about women, you guys are very good of avoiding accountability and flipping things, but why do it to Jesus, right? Why make a mockery of God and just thinking that all that stuff was okay? So, yeah,
and
man.
they do it in his name, sir. They do it in his name.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's crazy, man.
The necklace, the cross chain, the necklace, and all that, and getting piped down. I can't. Yeah, but just know, God is watching, but He's not watching in a way how we be watching. The cameras and all that. So, purgatory is heading towards your door, right? Hopefully, yeah. Anyways, and then the other one, as far as the guy's girlfriend who just flat out ain't loyal. Chris Brown will say it best. These hoes ain't loyal. You know what I mean? And you just gotta be careful who you're picking. Right there, that's already a red flag. But I know this guy, he's gonna stick around with his chick because he's below average. And he doesn't believe he could do better for himself because, and again, this is a white guy type of thing, right? Because I understand a girl ain't got no cakes at all. She's just like a gummy stick figure. But at the same time, right, you gotta be the type of man that actually have some balls. Right then, this is what I would have done. While you're saying all this stuff, I would have walked out because they would have already. I would have made that viral. I would have walked out. Call me insecure. Call me whatever you want to call me, ladies, right? But know for a fact that I will not tolerate and take that shit on live camera, So, yeah, man, the guy deserved that because obviously he's not a guy that will put his foot down on his woman, and that's why she was able to disrespect him. I've seen seen a lot of people, even firsthand, where you have the husbands that are sitting there watching the wife or their woman or whatever talking, flirting, dancing with other men. It's a real thing, man. When you allow that person to disrespect, and what it shows is that that person does not love him. He's only there for convenience. That's all. Because he can't get nobody else for herself too.
So my recap, Neo. You know, guys, if you're in that situation, man, just be upfront. Go to the person and break it off. But afterwards, Neo went through that situation. You know, he's living his truth, like Stan said. You know, do your thing, man. Men, stop having all these damn kids, though. Like, I don't know what is the thrill of having all these babies, man. Damn that. Like,
the receipts, sir. The receipts.
Yeah, you don't need no receipts. Receipts cost, man. Like, so guys, like, just especially if you got that magnitude of money. I know people like, oh, you could take care of all of them, but man, when you getting hit with them lawsuits, it ain't cute. But yeah, nah, shout out to Neo. Neo got a stable of stallions now, so he doing his thing. But I'm glad he just understand now. And women, if you go target a guy that you kind of know what his lifestyle is, and especially if he's famous, like, we ain't buying the victim shit no more. We don't want to hear you crying about it, you know. So that's the flip side of it. Like, if you target somebody for the wrong reasons, you deserve that work. So don't feel bad for you. Then the second one, as far as the females in the church, man, I'm kind of with Il3 on it. But it's just the craziest thing, man. If you're doing wrong, you're just doing wrong, man. You ain't got to always justify everything. Like, you know what? This is what I want to do because I want a pile of cash. So that's why I'm on these websites. I understand right from wrong. Maybe eventually I'm going to stop and get back. But it's like, man, you can't have it all. Like, it just sounds stupid. You know, when my man was questioning him from whatever podcast. It's just like, man, some things you just can't justify. So I get it, like what Stan was breaking down as far as like kids growing up super strict sometimes, but it's just like you still don't have to go to the extreme of shit. So that, you know, that's a choice. Then the last segment, the great philosopher Beyonce once said, to the left, all your shit will be in the box to the left. Yeah, because I got home, and after she done named off like half the industry, she got to keep it. She got to kick rocks because she was a little too excited about that list. Like I said, it's almost like she pulled out a piece of paper, like who won't I fuck? Like, so yeah. Nah, we would have been done at that point. It would have been a wrap. Like M3 said, I might have walked out during the interview. Like, you know what? I would have been calling some. Hey, you know what? Yeah, you coming through? Because ain't no way in hell. Like, we would have continued that relationship. But all right, y'all. Keep tuning in and check us out on Knowledge of Relationships. We be doing the lives over there. But all right, peace.
All right, later, everybody.